नमस्कार, एक बार फिर से आप सभी का सी न्यूज भारत में स्वागत है। मैं हूं आपके साथ ज्योति श्रीवास्तव। पोखरण में इंडियन एयरफोर्स दुश्मन को तेजी से सजा देने, शुरू से ही ऑपरेशनल माहौल पर कब्जा करने और टैक्टिकल एक्शन को स्ट्रैटेजिक नतीजों में बदलकर ऑपरेशन के दौरान अहम असर डालने की अपनी काबिलियत दिखाएगी। ये एक्सरसाइज ये भी दिखाएगी कि आईएएफ देश के अंदर और बाहर भी मुश्किल इलाकों से तेजी से एयरलिफ्ट और बचाव और निकासी करके मानवीय मदद और डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट को कैसे अहम भूमिका निभाती है। तेजस, राफेल, जगुआर, मिराज 2000, चेतक, अपाचे, चिनूक और रिमोटली पायलटेड एयरक्राफ्ट समेत फाइटर, ट्रांसपोर्ट और हेलीकॉप्टर प्लेटफॉर्म से कई तरह के ऑपरेशन किए जाएंगे। इस एक्सरसाइज में शॉर्ट रेंज लोइटरिंग म्यूनिशन, आकाश स्पाइडर और काउंटर अनमैन्ड एरियल सिस्टम जैसे एडवांस्ड वेपन सिस्टम भी दिखाए जाएंगे, जो दिन, शाम और रात के मिशन करेंगे। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर की सफलता को वायु शक्ति 26 में भी दिखाया जाएगा, जिसके बारे में एयर मार्शल तेजेंद्र सिंह, एओसी साउथ वेस्टर्न एयर कमांड ने जानकारी दी है।
वायु शक्ति 2026 is the latest edition of Vayu Shakti exercises that the Indian Air Force has been conducting since many years. It has many objectives. In addition to training in a realistic environment with live weapons for our combat crew, it also demonstrates Indian Air Force's ability to strike anywhere, anytime, every time, as the nation witnessed during the recently concluded Operation Sindoor. By this capability generation, we also signal, and it forms a part of our overall deterrence strategy as well. Stop. In this edition of Vayu Shakti 2026, we are showcasing full spectrum of air operations, from ISR, that is intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, to lethal offensive missions, and it also includes certain elements of our joint operations with the Indian Army. So you will see how in all domains Indian Air Force operates with agility, precision and great lethality. So this is one of striking feature of this particular edition of Vayu Shakti. Indian Air Force's commitment to Atmanirbharta, Make in India, is very well known. There are 3-4 elements of Atmanirbharta that will be so evident in this exercise. One is participation by indigenous platforms like the LCA, ALH, LCH, as also indigenous weapons, some of which will take part, some are of course not being showcased here, which will be used in this weapon, in this exercise, like the Akash missile and a lot of conventional weapons which are manufactured in India. But I will draw your attention to the fact that Indian Air Force is the only Air Force perhaps in the world that has upgraded all its platforms and weapon systems. However old, of whichever country's origin they might be, we have upgraded them, and this entire upgradation is largely indigenous, done in India, by India, and you will find that majority of the systems and weapons that you see in action, a vast majority of them would have an element of Atmanirbharta in them, in this exercise. So this exercise, like I said, we are trying to showcase full spectrum of operations, from the preparatory phase in which we are gathering intelligence, doing reconnaissance, thereafter operations which are in support with the other services or done jointly with the other services. There are operations which will be done by transport aircraft, helicopter aircraft, and of course the lethal decisive operations which will be undertaken by our fighter aircraft, both in air to ground, air to air, as well as by our air defense system in the surface to air mode. So we are trying to capture the entire facet of air operations within the constraints of peacetime operations and space that can be showcased or demonstrated.
अहमदाबाद से सीनू संवाददाता यज्ञेश गोस्वामी की रिपोर्ट। देखा जाए तो पोखरण की धरती पर वायुसेना की ताकत गूंजेगी, जहां आसमान से दुश्मन को सख्त संदेश और देश को सुरक्षा का भरोसा मिलेगा। खास रिपोर्ट में फिलहाल के लिए इतना ही। बने रहिए सी न्यूज़ भारत के साथ। हर खबर आपके साथ, आपके हाथ।